But in my workshops, and I could tell people to do it at home as well, but all of the kits and the book, I say, cut your thread so it's the length of your thumb to your shoulder. So there's a few nods, that's good. Any longer, you'll get all tangled up. Any shorter, you've got to rethread your needle and don't give yourself extra work. And then we have these beautiful little gold stalk scissors at all of our workshop, which people love. And I love, you know, some people say it's luxury in activism. I think having beautiful gold stalks just makes us remember how beautiful the world is. So I see them as essential, not luxury. So I tell people often we separate our threads to be there's always 6 strands. Normally it's 2 lengths of 3. Some people do more, some people do less. But I'm just going to do 3 now. And there is a fast way to do it, and I don't show that. And what I love, and this is what I noticed on the first time I did a cross-stitch kit on my train to Glasgow, the first thing I noticed before I was doing craftivism was separating the thread. I thought I'd tell people to not have it resting on your knees or anything, have it nice and high up. And you have to separate it so slowly so it doesn't knot, Rose, and doesn't get tangled or doesn't break. And use that time where it naturally separates very slowly. Use that time to check in with yourself. So how tight are your shoulders? How shallow is your breath? How sore is your neck? How achy or creaky do you feel? Do you feel sluggish? Do you feel quite anxious and shaky? This is what I think is one of the many benefits of handicraft, is forcing yourself to slow down, which people find incredibly painful in this busy world we live in. Try not to hit the people next to you. And separate it really slowly to just check in with yourself, because we don't want to use our craftivism like a lot of activism. You can just channel your baggage, your anger, your sadness straight into your activism, and then people can feel it. You want to acknowledge it and then channel those. We should be angry, we should be sad, but channel them into something proactive rather than reactive. So I tell people to do that, and then you can see it's all knotted. So I tell people to stroke it, and I do this at home, even though there's a faster way as well, especially for eco-anxiety. Stroke it nice and slowly so it unravels itself, and then you thread it. But what's interesting recently in the last year, I was in Belfast a couple of weeks ago as craftivist in residence at a democracy festival. And there was a few quite stressed out people doing different activism, community workers, carers. And there was one particular woman who was very tired and anxious. And I said, just stroke your thread. And you could see how relieved it was to just not be tapping all the time on your phone and just stroke the thread. And she looked quite teary, so I just sidled up to her. In the book, you can see I just sidle up to people on the side. And I said, you could just spend the whole 90 minutes stroking your thread. You really don't need to do anything else. If you need to just stroke your thread and slow down and calm down and let your sadness out about all of the stuff going on in the world. And I think she did it for about 15 minutes. She just did this. And I thought, brilliant, that's useful for her. And then she got cracking and took her kit home with her. But it's fascinating to see in a room actually just people doing this, and you can see them slowing down and calming down and their shoulders getting less tense, and breath helps slow you down. I mean, you know more than me, Rose, there's so much evidence now from clinicians and neuroscientists, which is in the book, about how those little actions actually are really important of using your head, hands and heart. So isn't that lovely and mindful and therapeutic now?
I still use the scissors.